Here's a lovely gluten-free hazelnut cake for you. And what I've been doing is just whisking some egg whites with 3 tablespoons of sugar until we get stiff peaks. Now, if you don't want to do this manually, of course you can do this in your stand mixer. So that's done, out of the way, exercise is done, which means I can eat more of this delicious cake. Into another bowl, we're going to add the rest of the egg yolk. So you'll need 6 eggs all up. In they go, along with the caster sugar. I'm going to whisk the eggs and the sugar together, and it'll look like a lot of sugar for that amount of eggs, but you watch, you'll see how thick and creamy it becomes. The egg yolks absorb all of that sugar. And you want to whisk this until it's pale, thick and creamy. And you'll see that sugar starts to dissolve. You can actually feel it with your whisk, and this is what we're after. Look at that, just gorgeous. That's the perfect consistency. Okay, so now I'm going to add some butter, and the butter has been melted, but it's not too hot. You want everything to be roughly the same temperature for this to work perfectly. So melt it and then let it cool slightly. So I won't add it all at once. Slowly incorporate that butter. This is going to give us a lovely moist cake. Okay, the last little bit. And we'll fold that in. Now, this is gluten-free because we're not using any flour, but we are going to be using some hazelnut meal. Hazelnut meal is probably one of my favourite. I just love anything with hazelnut and chocolate, just delicious. And if you can't find hazelnut meal just like this, well, you can make it yourself. You just need to mill it in a food processor until it's really fine, just as this one is. And if you don't want to do that, just sub it with another flour. So you could use some almond meal, or some walnut meal is fantastic too. So let's pop that in all together. We're just going to gently fold this through. In fact, I'm going to transfer over from my whisk to a spatula. And we do need some rising agent. So I'm using baking powder. And gently fold that in. Now, this mixture is quite stiff, but don't worry, we're going to loosen it up now with our egg white. So don't add it all at once because we want to keep some, about 1/3 of it, just to gently fold at the end. So we'll start with 1/3. And you can be quite rough with it at the beginning, just to fold it through so it becomes a little looser, and then we add some more. Once we've mixed in all of our egg whites, it simply goes into a baking tin. I'm using a spring form for this that I've lined with some baking paper. I start at 200 degrees, so quite hot, and then drop the temperature to 170 degrees, cook it for a further 20 to 30 minutes. The hazelnut cake has come out of the oven and I've cooled it completely. You always cool your cakes completely, but I'm also adding a nice, generous layer of double cream on top of it. So if it's hot, it'll just melt away. And you can see how perfect this cake looks. It smells fantastic. I just love hazelnut meal cakes. And we're just going to carefully peel off the base of that. You can see it's quite a sturdy cake. We'll pop that down. I'm actually going to serve it on this rack because it's quite pretty. I'll grab the double cream and we're just going to pop that over the top. If you didn't want to put the cream, you could absolutely just dust it with some icing sugar and serve it as is. This just makes it extra decadent, and I think it looks quite pretty, particularly if you're going to be serving it to some friends and family. So spread that around. Hazelnuts and raspberries are best mates. So I'm going to add a few raspberries to the top. I don't want it to look pretty, I almost just want them to just drop on top. Let's go 2 punnets. Let's go wild with the raspberries. Over the top. Oh, a few got away. Pop them on there, and there you have it. Hazelnut cake with double cream and raspberry.